Rev up your engines! Wouldn't it be nice if you could make your old 18-year-old car have all the modern conveniences? Do you really want to spend $60,000, $70,000 on a new Lexus just to get the conveniences? Why not put the conveniences in your older car? But you can got a CD and a tape deck, so I'm going to show you how you can replace it with a new Android and of course a new plate. It's not going to fit in there. It needs a bigger hole. So you get everything all for it. You order this part online. You buy the Android and then you take this apart. Now first, take the knobs off, pull them right off. Then we gotta get the plastic faceplate off. Now we want to remove this, but we gotta go down here first. First we gotta take this off. We'll have to get our key, turn the ignition on. Once we turn the ignition on, we can put that in neutral and get this out of the way. Away it goes. This is just force fit too. You grab it and the whole thing, you can just slide it out of the way. There's a 10mm bolt here and one here. So we're gonna remove those. We'll just break them loose. Then we can just spin them off by hand. They're not corroded or anything, even though it's 18 years old. And that's out of the way. But it still won't move, because if we look a little bit further, deep in the back there's one on this side, and there's another one hiding back in there. Good thing I got this long extension, it'll fit in the hole. Once you loosen it, you can stick that in, and out it comes and you don't lose it. Then we do the other side, get that one off, then wiggling and prying. We get the whole thing out. Now I gotta unplug things up here because there's not enough room. So, and once we unclip them, now we have more room. We have to unclip the radio itself. The whole assembly, which we're gonna replace. But before I get too excited, remember you have to buy this new plate that's got a bigger hole. Let's see if the thing actually fits before we go any further. And voila, it fits right in. So it's the right one. Now we can start taking it all apart and swapping it. Now this powers everything on the radio. So, the other thing you need to have is an adapter for it. Because without this adapter, you're going to have to do a whole lot of research. With the adapter, it just snaps in here. And then comes the hassle of putting these wires on to the radio that you bought, the Android. But they do come with directions. But now comes the real fun. You got to connect all these wires. The speakers themselves just plug into the speaker holes, front and rear. That's cool, no wire in there. That just plugs right in. So that was easy, but now we got all these wires to deal with. This is yellow, it's the battery plus. So we're gonna connect it to the connector battery plus. So if yellow to yellow, you can only put the heat shrink wrap over before you connect it. So we'll slide that over. We get the two ends and we're going to twist them around each other. So then we have them twisted together. Then we're going to get a cutting board. My wife's not here so she won't know. And we'll place the wire on the cutting board. And we're going to solder this tight so it is a nice tight connection. So you get your soldering gun. First, you heat up the wire to get it hot. Then you apply solder. But once you melt it, it makes a nice tight connection so your stereo system will sound fantastic. You can slide over the heat shrink wrapping so it's over your area. Then you can heat it with a hairdryer and it shrinks. As you can see now, it's a nice tight seal, moisture won't get in. Now the next wire we're going to do is the accessory. When you turn the key on, it's got power. That one goes to the accessory red one on the connector. Again, we twist them sideways so they're together and solder them on. Just remember to get the wires hot first. You want them hot so the solder will feed through them. Just get them nice and hot. And of course we connect the black ground wire to the black ground wire on the other side. Now you might very well say, but Scotty, there's all these extra wires left here. You just connected these. What's up with that? These Androids can do all kinds of things. GPS tracking. They can play videos. They can connect your phone to it. But this is going to my wife's Lexus. And what she wants is, she wants to have great sound with the radio, connect her phone. She doesn't care about GPS and backup cameras and all that stuff, so I'm not connecting any of that. If you want to connect that, feel free to buy whatever level you want. She doesn't want all the other stuff, so I'm not connecting that. It's a lot more work, and since she doesn't even want that stuff, I'm not going through the trouble of connecting all these wires. And now before we go any further, this is the plug in the Lexus. This is the plug we've wired up. We'll just connect the two of them. Snap them in. And let's see what happens. We'll turn on a key. We'll turn on a device. And here we go. It's starting to work. Do all kinds of things. I didn't hook up the navigation system, but it does Bluetooth so you can have your phone. It does music. does radio, it does video. It's amazing what these little things can do. It also does USB. I wired it up, so there's the USB. You can put your USB inside here, put your memory stick, music, video, whatever you want, and then you just close it, and you don't even have to see it. Now, I'm not going to show the boring process of putting it all back together. It's just the opposite of taking it all apart. Just realize there are a whole bunch of these Androids out there. You can get whatever features you want, spend whatever money you want, but realize, yes, you can do it yourself. Just make sure you get the right adapters for your car. There are a million different ones out there. Just get the right adapters and you can easily do it yourself. And since this is Mechanic Monday, I'm giving away one of these Android radio systems. To have a chance to win, place a clean, non-offensive comment on the YouTube comments below. Don't buy a $60,000, $70,000 car. Buy a $250,000, $300 Android instead. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Don and Missy Ingram. Scotty, I got a 2019 Tacoma random cylinder misfire with 4,000 miles. Could bad gas cause this? Well, yeah, it certainly can now. That's what, a year-old Tacoma with 4,000 miles on it. The random misfire code can be dozens of different things. That thing's almost brand new. One reason cars misfire is if the gasoline is bad, say it's got water or something else mixed into it, it will not burn correctly and you'll have a misfire. Bad spark plugs, stuff like that, but they're not going to wear out that fast. Odds are you probably got bad gas somewhere. I would say, whether you're almost out of gas, under a quarter of a tank, then go to a quality station like Shell or Texaco or something, and just once put in the super unleaded, the high one, to help clean any of the crud out. Then just drive it normally, and if it doesn't come back, yes, it was bad gas. If it does come back, take it to the dealer. Robert, he said, I inherited a 70s Volkswagen Rabbit from my dad. Couldn't find the ignition key, and he changed the ignition. How can I drive it without a mechanic? Well, I believe even in the 70s, they had locking steering columns. Your steering column's going to be locked and you can't drive it. I mean, if you want to break the steering column, cut off that lock assembly, and you could pull that out, put a screwdriver in to start it and run it if you want. I mean, they're not complicated. They don't have anti-theft systems with immobilizers on those old things. But if your steering column's locked, you're going to have to get that thing unlocked. And you could cut the whole lock assembly off if you wanted. Or you could drill the lock out and then take out the locking tumbler assembly, and then you can see inside and you can take off that one piece that locks it in place. My advice, find a good locksmith. They're pretty good at making keys. A lot of times they can look at it and they can take out your old tumbler, make a key, put a new tumbler and fix it if you want to do it right. Austin's Tropical Pool Care Travel and DIY Project says 79 Mercedes 240D manual with 150,000 miles. Should I buy it? If you're somewhat of a gambling man, and you can get it cheap, those old 4-cylinder diesels with a standard transmission could run virtually forever. 150,000 miles is nothing on those. I've seen those with 600,000 miles on them. You're talking about a 79. So you're talking about what? A 41-year-old vehicle. That thing's old. Don't pay much for it. If it runs, get in it, drive it around. Seems to go okay, offer a little bit of money for it. But if it doesn't even start and drive, don't even think about buying it. Then you got a money pit you can throw stuff in. But if you can get it cheap and it runs, you never know. They were solid built back in those days. John Train says it's a 2017 Mazda MX-5 Miata goodbye. If it was taken care of, sure, they're excellent vehicles. They were the only two-seater sports car in the world ever to have sold more than 1 million cars. That was the most successful two-seater sports car of all time. They're well-made cars. They're not particularly racing cars. Just realize, like I tell everybody, it's a used car. Don't trust anybody. Pay a mechanic like me to check it out before you buy it. I had a guy bring me a Miata the other day that was a year old, and I found out it had been in a flood. So he took it back and said, no, I'm not going to buy it. So you always want those things checked out. Trust nobody, but they can be excellent cars. Clear gray sky. How can you have a clear gray sky? It's cloudy. Hey, Scotty, I got a socket stuck to my spark plug hole in my Honda motorcycle. How do I get it up? I use long needle nose pliers. I have straight ones. I have 30-degree ones. I have 45-degree ones. I got 90-degree ones. So they're bent and all things so I can try to get stuff out. Now, if you can't even get it out with that, then put the extension back on the socket, take the spark plug out. Take the extension off the socket, put a little screwdriver, tap it, and then the spark plug will come out of it. Maybe get a different socket that works better, or put a little spray silicone on it, and then it'll come off easier when you put it back in. Make sure you got the right size socket, because sometimes motorcycles have very small clearances, and if your socket is too thick, it'll get stuck. And in that case, go buy a thinner one. Those long sockets, the deep well sockets for spark plugs, come in various thicknesses. You would want to buy the thinnest walled one you can get. I've had that happen myself. Then I just go out and buy another socket that's thin enough to fit in correctly. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.